Hello, it's me, Blackstar-chan X3, aka Marshall. Last video we did a briefing on the Zelda manga series, so if you missed that video, go check it out. But it's time to jump into the first installment of the original run of Zelda manga, Ocarina of Time Part 1. And it's gonna be a little bit oddly set up just because Ocarina of Time is oddly set up, and we'll get to that. Chapter 1, The Great Deku Tree Incident. There's a shot of baby Link with his mother bolting on a horse, and then she's presumably / implied to be dead about 2 seconds next to the Great Deku Tree, aka Tree Dad to a bunch of little forest children called the Kokiri. They're a race of children that never grow up, and each Kokiri has a fairy, except Link, who we know to be a boring old human from the intro. In this universe, he's known as a Hylian. We're introduced to Link properly now that he has enough consciousness to have a personality. He's a rambunctious little guy who gets into fights with this Claude Mido. If you ever played Ocarina of Time, you know him as the Gaslight Gatekeep girl boss who keeps you from progressing to the Great Deku Tree without a sword and a shield. Link feels different from the others because he has a fairy deficiency, but that's okay, because Tree Dad loves him, and he's good friends with a girl named Saria. She's another Kokiri. This fact makes Mido very jealous, because of course it does. They're children, yet they still know heteronormativity. It's just like real life. Link dazzles her with his Chekhov's gun, and they play music together and talk about outside the forest. Link longs to see the outside world. Smash cut to nighttime where the Deku Tree pulls a Gandalf saying Goma shall not pass, but she has none of it, becoming Tumblr's own sexy man, the Onceler, and climbs inside of him to commit murder. Navi shows up, from nowhere I guess, and the Deku Tree tells her to go get Link. Mido's committing destruction of property because he's the worst. And if you hate the Koroks, let me just remind you, what's worse than a Korok? Boom!
A child.
Also, the Koroks evolved from these little Just thought you'd know. Link wakes up via Navi's request. Overjoyed, he finally has a fairy, and they notice shit's going horribly wrong. So they team up with Mido to go adventure to the Great Deku Tree to investigate. Already with Chapter 1, we're introduced to some pretty wild concepts, like this Neverland-type place where a group of children never grow up. I heard somewhere that Link's design was straight up inspired by Peter Pan too, so, we're shown what kind of world Hyrule is. Magical. There's talking trees, fairies, scary monsters, and magic. We're immediately led to wondering what the rest of Hyrule is like alongside Link. And I don't know about you, but Ocarina of Time's specific style and tone are very nostalgic to me because of how much YouTube content surrounding it I consumed as a young kid. Specifically creepypastas, creepy locations, etc. You know, like a normal kid. And the little Ocarina of Time I did play took place in the Lost Woods / Kokiri Forest, so I can basically hear the music from these pages. Another thing I'd be remiss to talk about is the fact that Himikawa-sensei is great at drawing expressions. The characters are very cute and appealing looking, and they have huge personalities. Their stubby, boxy proportions are just, I don't know, hits my brain in a nice way. I really like the character designs. I like that Link's giant boots are just huge, and I like his hands being pretty proportional too. With the hair, it reminds me of Edward Elric. Something interesting is Ocarina of Time's Link is virtually the only Link with a middle hair part. All the other ones have like a side part going on, which I find extremely hard to draw, so a round of applause to Himikawa for drawing his hair this way for 2 solid volumes. Further on the hair, it's so detailed. I wish I could draw hair like this. I also like how it looks like Link has eyeliner on. Shadow Link and him rocking the eyeliner look very well. Hey, it's me, Blackstar. So you're probably wondering what the heck took this video so long. Also, why is it so short? So basically, I had a lot going on. Like a lot. Compared to my usual sit at home and drawing anyway. So I kinda didn't work on this video for a bit, and I'm sorry. You'll be so happy to know I was working on a Zelda fan comic instead. It's called Four Swords Returns and it's readable on Tumblr. There is 80 pages so far. Yeah, I was working on a different Zelda thing instead of the Zelda thing I promised to do. Funny how that works. So, how's Ocarina of Time's video gonna work out? Basically, I'm going to make a small video of a chapter until I'm finished with the whole book, and then I'll edit them all together into a supercut. Since I think that's going to be more manageable for me, I was going to do half the book, but then I got mega burnout from working on this video, and then I got swamped with stuff I had obligations to. However much I think I can do while working on all my comics is how much I'm going to do. So uploads aren't going to be super consistent. Also, this might take a while. Another thing about Ocarina of Time, I drew everything for this video and or edited stupid things together. Each video is gonna have a different approach, I think. So basically, this isn't going to be how every single manga video is going to happen. Ocarina of Time specifically is this way because I don't have a lot to say about it outside of what happens in it. So I wanted to show more of my goofy editing skills, which are non-existent kind of, and my art style. I wanted to show more off like on that side of it, and because I just don't have a lot to say about it story-wise, that isn't just what's there, at least not yet. So yeah, that's why the video is like goofy art stuff. Each of these videos kind of is going to assume that you've read the manga, which I don't know if that's a good approach or not, but we'll see. And if you haven't, it's fine. I think it'll still be enjoyable if you haven't read them, and I'm really hoping that these will convince you to read them. Four Swords, the video that's gonna happen with that particularly is going to be a dissection of that book. I believe it'll be at least 40 minutes long, at least, because if you've seen my Four Swords Returns Explains post, which, yes, I've made posts explaining my own dumb fan comic and every decision behind it because I'm insane, you know that I have so much to say about the source material and my interpretations of it, like a lot. So Ocarina of Time isn't gonna be like that. It's just gonna be a fun romp through the Ocarina of Time manga together, and I'm gonna make stupid dumb memes about it while showing off what happens in it, vaguely, basically. Four Swords is gonna be a complete deep dive into the madness of my mind. Twilight Princess, I know, is gonna be a mind fuck. Dear God. And I haven't thought about the other ones and how I'm gonna approach them yet. I think, Majora's Mask will be similar to Ocarina of Time. I'm so excited about Majora's Mask, by the way. And you might say, Blackstar, why aren't you just gonna do the Four Swords video first? I have to do them in order. It doesn't make sense. I know that doesn't make sense, but I have to. I have to do them in order. So suffice to say, Ocarina of Time's gonna come out when it comes out. I'm hoping that these shorter run times will retain attention. Also, thank you for the views on the Out of Touch animation. I was really happy people are interested in the fucking dumbass AU I'm making. That's mostly just gay shit. So again, if you're wondering where the Marshall is, he's doing comics or animating. And I'm doing anything other than what I'm meant to be doing, which is making YouTube videos. Recording's stressful, okay? I live with people who can hear me rant about how much I love Link, and it's weird, okay? So we'll pick up in chapter 2. I hope to see you there. And now it's time to thank my patron, Funtime Freddy 60, for their support. Thank you so much. Another last squeak for you. Bye-bye!